Hey guys, it's your Doc Farhan. Today's video is for those of you who feel guilty about waking up late. In today's society, it's very organized, right? School starts in the morning, work starts in the morning, everything starts in the fucking morning early. But if you want to wake up late, should you feel guilty about it? When your parents or your friends or your colleagues guilt trip you into saying, oh, hey, why are you waking up so late? Are you lazy? Are you a lazy bastard? Should you accept it? In today's society, a lot of people will tell you what you should be, or what you should be doing, or what you should be watching, or what you should be listening to. Forget all that. Because today, I'm going to prove to you that waking up late is something you should accept and man up, and I will tell you why. So, I've been obsessed about sleep lately, guys, like super obsessed. I used to be obsessed about testosterone. I mean, still am, obviously, but I've kind of tackled that topic. You know, I made Aphro-D, thousands of guys are taking it. It's helping tons of people, doubling testosterone. So that's kind of solved now. If you haven't tried Aphro-D yet, I recommend you get it right away. But now my next obsession, my next love is sleep, because I want to help guys sleep more, sleep better. And I want to cover these different topics of sleep. So today, I'm going to get into melatonin and caffeine and how it works in the brain and the neuroscience of it and how all this was discovered. So if you've heard things like the circadian rhythm or the day-night cycle and jet lag and all these different things and receptors and all this buzzwordy stuff, I'm going to cover it all here. And most important of all, I'm going to prove to you that you should just man up and wake up late and accept it. Because if you can wake up late and it is part of your genetic makeup, then dude, I am so proud of you. Some people can't do it. You know, they have to wake up early because of school, work. They're sort of pressured and forced by society to wake up early. And it's not even good for our evolution. And I'm going to get into some evolutionary psychology aspects in this video. It's going to be fucking brilliant. So let's get started. So here it is. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer so you can see it better. Okay. Just going to move this up a bit. Yeah, you could see all that, right? Yeah. Okay, the top is just the title. Man up and be proud of waking up late. Okay, title. Okay. Now, first some basic stuff about sleep and shit. Easy stuff. And then I'm going to get into the cool stuff. Okay? Basic stuff first. Now, one reason why I'm obsessed about studying sleep is because sleep is very essential for the production of testosterone, okay? Obviously, because testosterone is produced during sleep. And yesterday I made a sleep video too, so go watch that if you haven't watched it. And a lot of guys take Aphro-D and it helps them sleep, right? It's the only testosterone booster that actually helps guys sleep. But there are those who have certain issues with sleep. Something has been fucked up for many years. I mean, I used to go through that too. When I was in Vegas and during the RSD days, doing pickup, it was very bad schedule, sleeping at 6 in the morning, waking up at noon every single day, 7 days a week. During my PhD, I was fucked up sleep. During my university days, my high school days, I just had really bad sleep. And now my sleep is perfect. So during these videos that I'm going to cover, like yesterday's, today's, and then in the future, I'm going to get into all of these aspects of how you can sleep better. What are the benefits of sleep? Why we sleep? There was recently a book written by Matthew Walker. He's a professor at Berkeley, I believe. Yeah. And he studied sleep for 20 years. So I'm reading that book. I'm reading a lot of papers. So I'm going to bring you a lot of info about what I'm reading every single day. All right? So let's start with basics. Memory. So for many years, decades, maybe even centuries, scientists have been studying sleep and no one really knows why. Darwin studied it, Sigmund Freud studied it, and they were all stumped. Like, why the fuck do we sleep? No one really knows, right? And it's interesting because every single species studied up to date, billions and however many species there are on the planet, every single one sleeps. And we sleep for about a third of our life, right? So it's something quite important. So we need to know why we sleep. So the first benefit of sleep is memory. Sleep, this has been proven, it's called memory consolidation. and even memory reconsolidation to certain aspects, but memory consolidation primarily. It is when memories are converted from short-term to long-term. That happens during sleep. And I'm going to cover some basic stuff first so you can understand this thing about waking up late and why it's okay for you to wake up late and not feel guilty and tell people to fuck off if they give you a guilt trip, okay? Don't fall for it, guys, okay? So memory is one benefit of sleep. Appetite regulation that happens in sleep. You'll notice that sometimes when you don't sleep properly, you'll be more hungry the next day. You may even want to eat more sugar. So it does regulate blood sugar levels. Now, the two hormones in the body that regulate appetite are leptin and ghrelin. Probably know this already. Ghrelin signals you to eat more. Leptin signals you to stop eating. So there's a significant fuck up and a hormonal imbalance of these two hormones if you don't sleep enough. So sleep is it's like the fucking cure of everything, man. Anxiety, depression, I made this video yesterday, so go watch that. It's called How to Overcome Depression and Anxiety with Sleep. Okay, so go watch that video. Emotional regulation happens during sleep. So a lot of the time, if you don't sleep well, you're going to be more irritated, more a little jittery the next day. And it helps your immune system. So it helps you fight disease, so on and so forth. A lot of diseases have sleep implicated as one of the risk factors of why you have the disease. So Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, a bunch of dementia, all of these things, there are different frequencies and wavelengths in your sleep cycles that are affected, and you can actually diagnose different dementia just by looking at sleep cycles. And I'm gonna get into that too. Now let's do melatonin. So what the fuck is melatonin? So imagine, I got this example from this book, it's a brilliant example. Imagine you're running a race and there's this gun, right? The guy shoots a gun and then you start running like in the Olympics. The gun shooting is melatonin. And you racing is you going to sleep. So melatonin just gives you the start signal to go to sleep. It doesn't actually help you sleep, okay? And usually it's a placebo. So if you're taking melatonin and it works, it's probably a placebo. Now why? Most melatonin supplements don't have the prescribed what they claim that it has. So it can be, and this is a study, studies found this, anywhere from 83% less melatonin than they said that they claim to have in the pill, all the way up to 478 times what they say is in the pill. And that's crazy, it's fraud. So stay away from melatonin. All right, now let's get into the cool, sexy stuff, okay? Physically shrinking brain areas. All right, this is crazy. So when they studied stewardesses and airline pilots and air hostess and all these people, they found that due to the jet lag issues that they suffer from, and I'll get into what, okay, so what is jet lag? Maybe you don't know. So imagine you're taking a flight from SF San Francisco to London, 8-hour difference. It's an 8-hour flight and it's an 8-hour time difference. Let's say you start at 6 p.m. or let's say you start at 4 p.m. and you get to London at 12 a.m., midnight. That's midnight San Francisco time, but it's already morning in London. It's 8 a.m. So you feel sleepy because it's midnight where you're from. But the sun is there, it's signaling you like, oh shit, it's day, like what the fuck? It's all fucked up, right? You're like, your internal system, and I'm gonna get into how daylight, night, and all of this happens inside you, the circadian rhythm that is inside your body, inside the brain. It's called a suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is the clock of your brain. I'll get into that soon, it's super cool stuff. Okay. So they found physically shrinking brain areas that are in charge of learning and memory in these people who have jobs where there's a bunch of jet lag, because your prefrontal cortex, which regulates the emotional aspects of how your limbic system responds. So limbic system is like your amygdala and your other parts of the limbic system, like the hippocampus. Anyway, these are just different brain areas. I'm a science nerd, so I'm telling you this. But what you need to know is that the limbic system is in charge of emotion. Prefrontal cortex, right here in the front of the brain, is connected to it and it regulates emotion. So if you have jet lag and there's a diminishing of areas of learning and memory, and basically they just shrunk, then you're gonna have problems with learning and memory. Okay, that's how it works in the brain. If a brain area shrinks, you're gonna have problems with the activities of that brain area. So that happens. Okay, this is super sexy. Diagnosing dementia. So you can look at sleep patterns. This is how it was first found out by Matthew Walker, that sleep is like some crazy cool thing. He was looking at Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, all these different neurodegenerative diseases which correlate with dementia, right? Dementia was like fucking old people go insane. And he found that there were sleep wave patterns that were different in different types of dementia. So he's like, holy fuck, what if the reason or the cause of these dementia has something to do with sleep? And that's why he studied sleep for fucking 20 years. Creativity. This is a sexy one, right? A lot of Nobel Prize winning discoveries, a lot of great inventions that have helped the world came in a dream. So dreams trigger imagination, creativity. So that's another very, very big function of sleeping, okay? Mimosa pudica. Okay, Mimosa pudica is a plant. This is how they like discovered the circadian rhythm inside our bodies. It's so cool, dude. So check it out, okay? This fucking crazy ass scientist, he was like, this is like 300 years ago. He's like, let me think. We wake up in the morning because of the sun. We're basically solar powered human beings, right? We wake up in the morning because of the sun. We sleep at night when the sun goes down. So is it the sun that's regulating sleep, or is it some internal clock in us? So he studied this fucking plant because the plant was following, the leaves of the plant followed the trajectory of the sun, right? And then at night, they basically fell asleep. Darwin called these the sleeping plant. It basically like a limp dick. It was just like sleeping like that all day. It was like sleeping leaves, okay? The fucking plant was sleeping. So he was like, is it something inside the plant that is programmed in its DNA? Or is it the sun? So he put a box on the plant, okay? And every like few hours in the 24 hours, like especially at night, he would take like little peeks, right? And he would see what the fuck is happening to the plant. And he found out that at night, even without during the day, even without sunlight, the trajectory was being followed. And at night, even though the plant doesn't know it's dark, the leaves had fallen. So that concluded that the plant itself has an internal structure, an internal clock. And guess what? Scientists did that with human beings too. These two crazy ass scientists went in a cave for like 36 hours. No, not 36 hours. They went for like, how many days? They went for like a month, somewhere around a month. They did this experiment. I think it was like 24 days or 36 days. And they tried to see if they would sleep according to the day-night cycle in a cave. And this was like some deep, deep cave in America where there was no sunlight, not even a fucking photon coming in. And they found that their sleep patterns were just the circadian rhythm, the day-night rhythm was a little bit higher than 24 hours. It was like 27, 28 hours for the older for the younger guy, for the older guy, and it was like a little bit closer to 24 hours for the younger guy. It was like super interesting. Like, what the fuck? Our bodies inside can regulate our daily rhythms because sleep has existed forever, right? And by the way, it's about 24 hours and 15 minutes, our average circadian rhythm. And it has nothing to do with the sun. We just know. Like, you just go to sleep even the sun is not there. It's crazy, okay? It's fucking cool shit, man. Okay, night owls versus morning people. Now let's get into the real crux of it. And before that, let me just talk about caffeine. So the way caffeine works, okay? So there's adenosine receptors in your brain. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this, but melatonin, right? Melatonin is actually secreted by the pineal gland. And that is what these melatonin tablets are supposed to do. It's supposed to like trigger the start of sleep, okay? Doesn't really work. Doesn't really work. And you don't want to do it. You want to do other stuff, natural stuff. Okay, caffeine. So caffeine, the way it works is, so these adenosine receptors in the brain, they basically track your wakefulness. Okay, so the more adenosine that is released, it's telling you you're awake, you're awake, you're awake. What caffeine does, it binds the adenosine receptors, and so adenosine can't bind to them. And it's not activating the receptors, it's inactivating them. A receptor is just this thing in a neuron that a neurotransmitter binds to. So adenosine would normally bind to its bind to its receptor, but now caffeine is binding to it. So it's making it inactive. So you believe that you're not sleepy anymore. It's like a fucking fraud. It's a trick. I haven't had coffee for about 11 days. Thank God I'm doing this cool experiment. Now let's get into the crux. Night owls versus morning people. So it turns out that a lot of you, just about 30% of human beings in the world are night owls. About 40% are morning people, and then the other 30 are like somewhere in the middle. If you're a night owl, then you are genetically programmed to wake up late and sleep late. Like sleep at 2 a.m., wake up at noon, whatever, or 10 a.m. for 8 hours of sleep, or noon for 10 hours of sleep, whatever. You are genetically programmed to do that. So don't feel guilty. I mean, that's the crux of this video. Like, don't feel guilty if you have to wake up late, because it's just in your DNA. And society, what it has done, and this is really fucked up, because the way evolution did this for us is, 40% of the people are morning people. So let's say a morning person goes to sleep at 9 and wakes up at 5. A night owl goes to sleep at 1, wakes up at 9. That means there's a 4-hour time when both of these guys are asleep. But if they slept at the same time, there would be an 8-hour when they're both asleep. So imagine every single human slept and woke up at the same time. We would be very vulnerable to predators and other, fucking animals who want to kill us. So evolution designed this amazing machinery in our brain where some people will wake up early, some people wake up late, so we are not all killed. So we are less vulnerable to attacks by predators. Super fucking cool. So dude, be fucking proud, man up, own that shit, and wake up late. All right. Prefrontal cortex is involved in all of this. I covered it. That's the video. All right. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, man. Just click subscribe. You'll get a notification. Turn on your notifications so you get the next video right away, so you watch it right away. Comment below. Let me know. Do you feel guilty about waking up late? Is society shaming you for waking up late? Are you in a position in life so you can wake up late? Because if you're a night owl and you are in a position to wake up late, then wake up late, motherfucker. All right, that's it for the video. I'll see you tomorrow. This is your Doc Farhan. Yeah! Bye.